Today, I'm going to break down my step-by-step framework that's working right now in 2025 to help people just like you make your first 1,000 sales on Amazon. And if you're new around here, my name is Stephen Summers. I'm the founder of Marketplace Superheroes, and I've sold millions of dollars of products on Amazon over the last 15 years. Since 2014, I've helped thousands of people get started on Amazon from complete scratch from all walks of life. And over that time, I've really learned how to help complete beginners get results on this incredible platform. Now, the video you're about to watch is not based on theory. It's based on years of time-tested execution. And I'm actually going to show you the exact 5 steps you can follow right now to make your first 1,000 sales on Amazon, no matter what model you want to follow. So with that said, let's get straight into it. The first thing we need to talk about when considering selling on Amazon is the profitable product matrix, right? A lot of people get this wrong, especially if you're considering selling via wholesale and or via arbitrage or reselling. So what separates most people is that they target proven demand, not perfect products. That is key. So we use tools like Hero Launchpad, which we've shown you many times here on the channel before. And what it enables us to do is to scan products. And we are able to figure out what we call the profitable product matrix by using tools like this. Now, there are other tools as well that will show you the sales that different products are making. So we're looking for products that are selling at least 10 to 100 units per day. The reason for that, because it gives us proven demand. We know with certainty this is making money right now. We then look for 3 to 6 different sellers on the listing. That's healthy competition. Now, the reason that some people might say, well, we want no sellers, and you do not want that. And the reason for that is because you want competition on Amazon. You want other people making sales. And the reason is because, let's say you're selling this product, right? You're getting access to it via wholesale or arbitrage or whatever, and then other people are doing the same thing. Well, if you sell out of your inventory, there's lots of other people that still have inventory. Therefore, the product still keeps on making sales, and in Amazon's system, it keeps ranking organically as a result of that. That's why for me, competition is great. And some people will say, well, it's a race to the bottom and all that. And we just don't operate that way. If somebody starts cutting the price dramatically, we let them cut the price, let them sell out, and we move on. Because here Launchpad literally tells us how many units someone has in stock, so we can see how fast they're going to sell out. We want a $15 to $50 price range. If you sell something for $10, for example, it's going to be really difficult to be profitable on Amazon because you have the various different Amazon fees. You got to pay their commission, their FBA fees and all that kind of stuff. You also have to buy the item and get it to Amazon, so there's a little bit of a shipping cost in doing that as well. So that's why when we go with 15 to 50, and really you could even say $20 to $50, there's gonna be enough margin in a price point like that often to pay all these various different fees and still leave us profit at the end. That's why we go for that. But equally, if you found something for $12 and it was really profitable, you could buy it for very little, then it would still be a worthy investment, right? We want a consistent 90-day sales history. So in our programs, we typically use Keepa or BuyBot Pro. Keepa for wholesale, BuyBot Pro usually for arbitrage. And we look for 90-day sales history. We want to see this is always making money. We can also see things like, for example, with Keepa, if a lot of sellers just fell off a listing very quickly, that could give us a clue that there might be some IP issues with that listing. The companies might have complained, people are selling their products and stuff like that. So it gives us a way of protecting ourselves as well. And that's why that's important. Overall, though, we want to look for distributors with wholesale, especially when we're starting, because distributors are going to enable us to get ungated and permission to sell products. And so for arbitrage, we look at clearance sections of retailers. In our program as well, we have like 1,000 different retailers in the US, the UK, and Canada that we look at. And by the way, if you want to pick up a free training on wholesale or arbitrage, I have 2 links down below that you can check out. Click on them. There's free training for both. You can pick which model that you prefer, etc. But arbitrage, it's all about getting more sources and more deals. And the real key insight here is we're not trying to create demand. We just want to serve that demand, provide reliable fulfillment, and also, especially with wholesale, keep ourselves in stock of the items that are winning, and we're going to do really well. So let's move on to the second piece. So when we look at 1,000 sales, it's really simple. As it says here, it's not magic, it's mathematics. If you want 1,000 sales in 6 months, you need 5 to 6 sales per day, which is nothing, because if you think about it, you're looking at fast-moving products that make 15 to 20% ROI. Honestly, like with arbitrage, we look at more like 30% ROI plus. With wholesale, we might bring that down a little bit. We want different profit centers. So we want steady sellers that make us a little bit more money. And then we have seasonal opportunities. This is like a a way of looking at the different types of products that you can sell. Because you see, if we only had volume drivers and we were selling like really fast moving items, there'd be a lot of pressure on us to keep it in stock, to keep buying it in higher volumes as well. And it's just quite stressful to do that, but it's good to have a few of them. It's good to have profit centers that make us a bit more from an ROI perspective, because that's what's going to actually put money in our pockets. And then the seasonal pieces are really just like fast selling. Often they can be decently profitable as well. Sometimes a little bit less though, because if they're seasonal and there's a lot of competition, we can have that balance. But either way, it's fine, because at the end of the day, it's about getting to 1,000 sales, right? And so all you've got to do is make 5 to 6 sales per day. If it's wholesale, you're going to need one supplier to do that. If you're looking at something like arbitrage, you're going to need like a handful of really good sources that you buy from again and again. And again, that's why in our program, we provide so many sources, because obviously the more of them that you have, the easier it's going to be to keep on buying stuff. You're going to need about $2,000 to $5,000 in starting capital, especially for wholesale. For arbitrage, a little bit less. You could get away with more like $500 to about $2,000. And the reason, by the way, I could tell you could start with $100 with arbitrage, but what's the point? Because let's say you make 25 to 35% ROI as we have here, right? Let's say 30% for easy calculation. So if you put $100 down, you make a 30% ROI, you turn 100 into 130. You made $30. Like, your life didn't change, right, at all. Whereas if you put in a bigger amount of money, and obviously you need to know what you're doing, so you will start small and grow into that, you're going to put yourself in a position where if you do 10 grand a month and you make a 30% ROI, well, now you've got $3,000. And that's the kind of money that's going to enable you to quit your job, etc. Now, at the same time, I don't want you to think you're going to need 10 grand today and then I can make money. No, we stair step up to that. And every time we make a sale like we have here, we're making an ROI, we're making a return, we're making a profit. We reinvest that profit and we grow up. And like it says here too, just to consider, if you open a physical store, a franchise, 50, 100 grand, $250,000, that's the kind of money you're going to need to start a so-called real business. This is a real business. It's just we're using modern technology to make more. And we're using a company that has literally millions of customers and they have everybody going there. And we're just tapping into that, whether it's wholesale or arbitrage. It's so efficient. So 1,000 sales is something you can absolutely achieve within 6 months or less, as long as you're willing to put in the work. And like I said earlier on, you can check out the links in the comments for free training about both of these models, or you can just comment FBA and we'll send it on to you whichever way you want to go. So buy box domination. You can have the best product research in the world, as it says here, but if you're not winning the buy box, you're invisible. And this is especially true when you're selling things that are already existing brands. If you are not getting into that buy box, getting rotated in there, you're literally not going to make any sales. Now, the buy box isn't random. It is an algorithm you can influence, right? And so there's a few things you need to know. First thing, you've got to be competitively priced. We talk about that in all of our programs and our free trainings. And it's a key piece of the algorithm. So you want to be 3 to 5% of the lowest FBA price. You do not want to be 10 or 20% more expensive. You're just never going to get access to it. Using FBA is massively important, approximately 30% weighting towards that, which means that you use Amazon shipping services and all of that. It gives you a big benefit. Seller metrics are important. Obviously, when you're starting, you're not going to have very many seller metrics. You're not going to have very much feedback in your account. So that's going to take a little bit of time. But you want to keep your defect rate under 1%. And with FBA, that does make it a lot easier to do that kind of thing. If you do get any messages, you have to respond to them within 24 hours. You will get very few if you're doing arbitrage or wholesale, but any you do get, make certain you respond to them or you mark them as no response needed. If you don't do that, it's going to cause you a problem. And then your inventory levels, right? If you stock out and Amazon keeps seeing you run out of stock again and again and again of items that you want to replenish, they're not going to put you into the buy box because they know you're unreliable. So when you're starting, you can start small, you can sell out, but as you get a bit more experienced, that's the point in time right here when you want to make sure you're stocking yourself correctly. You want to look at what's 30 days of sales look like, extrapolate it out. So if you're making 5 sales a day, 150 units, I need to make sure I have 150 units rolling at all times. And then you got to look at, well, how long does it take you to get into stock and make sure you stay in stock or you're going to be in trouble. And so repricing is pretty critical, especially with wholesale. We teach it inside of our program. If you do manual repricing, you're literally costing yourself money. Either you get yourself a virtual assistant or you use the software. Do not do it yourself for the long term. You're literally using your most valuable resource, your time, to do something that can be automated. Let's talk about momentum first pricing. So if you add 0 sales, but you have items in stock, and if you're pricing for maximum profit, that's not the best thing to do. What you want to do in your first 1 to 2 months is look at this momentum over margin, right? You want to target 15 to 20% ROI. You want to focus on getting your first 100 sales and reviews / feedback. I put reviews here because you might think of it as reviews, but it's more feedback actually. And when you do that, Amazon's algorithm kind of kicks in and sees you're making sales, your account's getting seasoned with some sales as well. And they start to look at you as, okay, this person's taking things seriously. In your 3 to 4 months into the game, you want to start optimizing winners. So you can increase margins on proven products. And that means like you can start to bring up your price a little bit. If you're not making the money you want to make, maybe you don't bring your price down to meet that level. Maybe you just hang on a bit longer, right? Whereas when we're starting out, we just want to make sales. You can double down on your best performers by obviously replenishing those. More so for wholesale. I'll just throw that in here just to make that really clear. And for arbitrage, like you can replenish. We do teach that inside of our Kickstart program. But just to be clear, like it's more of a wholesale thing. We want to then cut products that aren't working or just sell them out, right? Now, the easiest thing to do when selling them out is just to cut your price and blow them out. Use FBA. Very, very simple. Some people go to eBay and they list them there and they use Amazon to ship them out. But if you just cut your price on Amazon, you will sell it pretty quickly. And then phase 3 then is about looking for better, more profitable items, getting better relationships and better pricing from your suppliers. And that's where you start hitting these bigger months, right? 5 to 6 months in. But you can see there's a 6-month plan there that really does work well, both for wholesale and for arbitrage. So here's an example of a way to be profitable, to be successful on Amazon that I think could be interesting to you. We've got these different systems, right? So there's a weekly sourcing ritual. So every Tuesday, for example, you can spend 2 hours finding new opportunities. Now, obviously, it would be better to have more consistency, like an hour a day, for instance. But even at a small level, just to get something going, you could just set in a time on your calendar every Tuesday or whatever the day of the week is, and just be consistent to finding new products. We have a 30-day inventory rule, so we want to keep 30 days of stock in stock. That's where we want to be, especially with wholesale. Arbitrage is a bit different. You might only have 5 units of something, so you might sell it out and you move on, or you do try and replenish that. So again, more of a wholesale thing was certainly something to think about. We have our profit truth tracker, right? We want to look at our real profit after all fees. Like sometimes you have a little bit of storage. Sometimes you have a little bit of shipping from a prep center into Amazon. We want to make sure we have all those calculations in place. And the only real way to actually see the truth here is when you get your invoice back from the prep center to say, here's what your fees actually were. Otherwise, we're just going to make it up, right? And it will depend on different things like the size of the item, the weight of the item, stuff like that. We have our supplier relationship matrix as well, about building suppliers, focusing on those relationships. That's absolutely key. And ultimately then we have our 30-30-30-10 plan. We've looked at this before. This is a good way to go. So, you can pay yourself 30% over time. Don't do it right away. Reinvest in growth. A little bit for taxes, a bit for emergencies. And this is a really nice little way to look at profits as you get going. So you're not going to be in a situation where you make $5,000 profit in a month and just pocket that. Because if you do, well, you're not going to have any money to reinvest in inventory. You're not going to have any money for emergencies or for taxes, and it just doesn't make sense at all. Anytime we make profits, we are going to be paying some taxes because that's how we get taxed as a business. We get taxed on the profits that we make. Now, if you make $5,000 in a month, it doesn't automatically mean you have to pay the whatever percentage of tax there is in your country or state on that $5,000. It just means that you have to be aware we should put some money aside for an inevitable tax bill that's coming down the line. If you follow these rules, you follow these steps, you can get to your first 1,000 sales on Amazon within the next 6 months in wholesale and arbitrage. And if you want the free training, I've said it a couple of times already, check the link in the description down below. And I hope you enjoyed this one. And I hope you do give it a like. I hope you do subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you in the next video.